Hello. Today I'm going to be doing a bit of painting. How exciting. Haven't posted anything in a decent amount of time. So this is going to be quite interesting today. Not exactly sure what exactly I'm going to paint, but we will figure it out along the way. Got a fair few items and a fair few colours. So I'll just pick out a few random colours that I wish to work with today. I think I'm going to go for like a sky, some reds, purples, whites, probably some blues and such. Maybe some green, could do some green. But yeah, it's just a lot of colours. Could do some brown. Probably should get all my stuff out. If anything, I've got a few little things here and there. Darker brown, maybe. Some blues, got a cool blue. And a warm blue. Probably will need a warm blue. I do have a deep green, but I am probably going to use this pearl green. Quite nice. May want to do some sparkly colours as well. Possibly some violet. We'll see. I think this is a good amount of colours for our colour palette so far. Yeah, got a few different browns, but we'll see which ones I actually use. Those will be the colour palettes we've got. Just in a bit of a random order. Got some violet, some brilliant purple, some cool blue, some white, bit of magenta, pearl green, green deep, burnt sienna, red ochre, burnt umber, some more green deep, and some warm blue. And I think those should be quite good for our painting today. So, start off with a few blobby bits. Probably use one of these larger paintbrushes. I have a couple. I've got a Reeves this one has been painted on a little, but this one's nice and soft, whereas this one's a bit bristly, all with their own different uses anyway, of course. So we'll just start by seeing what orientation we want our canvas, because I've got it currently on its side for facing me, though I could do it a bit portrait or landscape. I think I might go portrait today. It'll give me a bit more room for sky and grassland, and obviously some much needed space to do any other details that I wish. So start off with the middle of the canvas. What shall be the middle? I kind of want to go like a deep. I think I want to go in with violet. Just do a bit of a blob of that. A couple blobs. And a little bit of this magenta here. Bit of this brilliant purple. That should be good. A little bit of the white in the sky, but put a bit of my cool blue in between the purple and the white. If it will come out. There we go. And then for this bottom part, I think we want red ochre, I feel. Just a splash. Bit of green deep. Oh, don't know if that got on the phone or not. No, that looks good. Gosh, a bit messy. Already got some just there. Crazy. But yes, green deep. A bit of pearl green down the bottom here. Oh, that's a bit of a blob, but that's okay. We can just mix it around. And maybe a bit of the warm blue down the real bottom with a bit more white. It's a bit of a liquidy one. And a bit more white. Now that is looking decently good, I'd say. It's looking decently good. And now we move our paints along so we can clean our brushes. Start off with our rough brush. I've got some water and I've got a flannel thing to brush them off on. And go for a bit of the white first, just to smooth it out on both sides of it first. then go into a bit of the blue here, smooth that down here a bit. And then we can go into this green. It's going to take up quite a good amount of colour on this board. Might even need to paint these edges a little. Gosh, this is going to get a bit messy today. You know, I might want to keep a little bit of this green, so I'll just plop it in a little bit of this palette here. Wipe that off just a wee bit. Scrape a little bit more of it off, just to clean up everything. Go back in, do a bit more scraping, reveal more of that blue and that white. Rinse off our brush just a little. And drag more of that green off so we can see the other colours beneath it. Our water's turned a beautiful green, beautiful pearlescent green. Might as well clean that up just a bit. Goodness. Then go and do the brown or the red ochre, or whatever you wish to say the colour of it is. Bring it just all the way down with the white and the blue and the green. Bring it all the way back up here, mellowing out into a bit of a greyish colour, which is quite nice. And it's giving us a nice bit of a gradient amount. A bit of a gradient. Wipe off our brush and we drag this white down into this blue. We drag the blue up into the white to get a bit more of a gradient. Drag the blue down and meet this purple, which is going to give it a bit. Drag that down into the red, maroon, or magenta. Drag it down into the magenta. Drag this up a bit. And drag it down into our violet. And drag that just to there. Give it a little bit of a separation. Rinse off the brush so we don't get too much of the violet up into the other layers. And go for a bit of a swoopy motion. once more. And down again. That should be quite nice. Now we leave that to dry a little bit, and we give it a bit of time, maybe clean up the edges a little, drag a bit of colour around. It doesn't really matter if it gets all messy because you can paint over it once more. Drag the colours down, clean up the edges. Put all the paint into our paint water, which has got a beautiful blue, which is not too surprising. Give the edges a bit of a again. A bit more of that. Just to make sure the paint is quite thin, but we can still see those beautiful colours. And there's so many sparkles in the paint because of the pearlescent green. Give it a little bit more finish up on this bottom bit here. Keep pushing the phone over. Give it a bit more clean up this bottom bit here, just a little bit. Bring a little bit of the purple in. Now, I might want to make a few adjustments in colour, just to this bottom section, because I feel like we didn't get much of that blue or that white in. So we go in with just a splotch more of white, and we use the warm blue for this bottom. So give it just a blop more, just to really bring in a bit more of the colours that we start with. And go in with that blue a bit. We almost want a bit more separation with the paint. Yeah, paintbrush here. Just get that out with your fingers, honestly. You almost want it to look a little dissimilar to what this patch here is. Maybe even a touch more blue, because it is getting a little overpowered by the white at the moment. Just a touch more in those two sections. And don't clean the brush though, because we still want a little bit of that white in there. And just mix it around. This one's going to be a little sloppy of a mix. Bring more of that is going to be a bit of a streaky mix instead of a smooth. Because we want to make it sort of look like water, I think, today. Water, grass, and then a bit of the sky. Maybe add a bit of that watercolour into the sky, if anything. Just for a little bit of a cloudish sort of look. Don't really bother the sky too much, but we do want a little bit of a cloud. Now we can go in, if we wish to, with our palette once more, and we might dip into some red ochre. Because this is mainly just dry at the moment, so touch a little into the red ochre and just get a little bit of paint up with the softer brush. Just dip into it, paint it in just a little bit more, give it a bit of a scrub type of a treatment. Dip in, scrub. Maybe a little bit of circular. Dip in, circle. Then you can go and dip into your green again, do a bit more circles. Just got to make it look a little grassy, bushy, plant-like. Give it some depth, some texture. Give it a bit more of a foreground, background kind of type feel. As you progress forward, go a little lighter with certain colours. Just make it look a bit grassy. Do a little bit of a edge, water's edge type. Shift it a little bit more brown, if anything. Just a dab. And just put it over there. Just to push a little bit of a water's edge type feel. And then you may honestly want just a touch, just a tad bit of yellow. Just a touch to bring in a bit more colour into, well, that wasn't very shaken up well. Just a touch more yellow into the green. Because it doesn't have too much of the yellow and the green, so we're going to separate a little bit of the yellow, a little bit of the green, and mix it around in here to get a nice kind of a fresh green. Wipe a bit of it off so we don't get too much on our arch. We'll just circle that around the edge there. Don't worry too much about the edges of the painting. Just adding a little bit of yellow. Maybe a little splash on the border. Maybe a little bit of a tree. Do a bit of a tree. A tree or a large bush. Get paint off your paintbrush and give it a bit of a swoosh, 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 swoosh. Just really, you can get your finger involved a little if you need to clean up. Bit of a mistake. It's not right unless it's fun. Give it a little bit of a... We don't want too much of a tree, we just want characteristic of a tree. The illusion of a tree. Maybe we want a little bit more pale green, just in that background bit, because the yellow is going to overpower it in this foreground, so we don't have to worry too much about covering it. I just want a little bit more, make it a little hazy if anything. Now we can do what we want to do with the background. Maybe even add a little bit of water to this sort of colour that we have here, the sort of yellowy green. And just slightly, dip it into the water for a little bit of a reflective bit in the water. A little reflective in the water. Again, clean the mistakes off with your fingers and clean it up just a little. The water is still a little wet, a bit painty, and you just go and smooth it in. And there we go. Looks like a bit of a reflection in the water of the green bush type situation. And now we can put a little white and get a small daintier brush, pop into that white and adds a bit of depth to those clouds that we added. Don't want to go too heavy on some of them. We want to make sure they at least look cloudish. Follow the imprints that you did in the beginning and expand. You don't need to follow them exactly. You want to make sure you feather them out with your clouds so they don't look just like white blobs in your sky. Do a little bit of a swirl motion. Just dipping and swirling. Little bit of a and swirl it out to feather it. Doop. Swirl. Doop. Swirl. And if the paint decides it wants to go everywhere, then just swirl it out. And you can fix mistakes later on anyway. The further you go up, the whiter you can get, but the further you go down, then you must give them a little bit of a powder out. Unless you want really deep clouds. Really, really heavy clouds. And clouds don't have to be perfect or anything like that. That should be good for the background. And it's more kind of mainly a little dry except for this water bit, which is fine. Because now we're going to add what I like to add is a little bit of an eye. But I don't... It's difficult sometimes to judge the placement of where eyes should be. Should I put them in the sky a bit, or should I hide them in the land, or should I put them in the bottom of the water? It's a little bit of a decision to make. Just dip into some white. I might want to do just a few tiny eyes in the land. And just, make a bit of an eye shape. Do a few more. Just a little eye shape in the land. I think 3 should do. They don't have to be exactly evenly spaced or anything, they're just eyes. They are just eyes. Let them dry. Give them a little bit more white, but let them dry just a little bit. And you can give them whatever colour, whatever colour eyelid you want. I usually start with a little bit of I might have done that a bit wrong. A little bit of the darker colour around the itself. I messed that one up a little. So I was like, oh, surely it's the darker colour at top. Nope, it's the lighter colour on the top that you want. But that's okay. But yeah, bit of the darker colour around the eyes. Give it a little dot. And you can grab your little lighter colour and go from the top down. This one's a little mess, but a little messy isn't the worst anyway. A little bit of an eyelid type look. That blends kind of into your background, just a little. Let's make a bit. You can figure it out. If you've added a bit too much. Or you can feather in a little bit more of that brown. If you wish to darken it up a little. To make the eyes stand out just a little bit more with that brown. Well, the red ochre. And to put a little bit more. Deepen the eyes. These eyes seem to have differing emotions in them, in the eye structure, the eyelid. And feather it out a little. Now we can go in and do what their eye colour is. And I might want to grab a bit of our brilliant purple. And plop it in. Yeah. Don't need too much because we're only doing just an iris. So grab a little bit and we paint the iris. This nice purple. And grab a bit of the purple and you can mix it with a little bit of brown to give you a bit of a darker, a nicer, darker purple. Or just a bit of the inner. Rinse your brush. Grab that light purple and do the light purple on the other two eyes. If you got a little distracted with your water, you can clean it up redo a bit of it. It's fine. Smudge purple into the eye, if anything. Smudge away that water droplet. And go in with your mixture of purple and brown. Just a tad. Paintbrush real good. Put a little bit more brown into that purple just to get that deep colour that you want. And we haven't used any black in this painting, so dip into the brown for the iris. And that is all you want to do for your eyes. If you wish to add some more details and such, you can, but I might just think about a few more details if I wish for them. Let's pick out a few brushes for any details that you might want to do at all. You can even redo some colours on the background if need be. I think I like this eye the most, personally. But that shall be all today. That is the final painting. I hope you enjoyed this little art session, and I shall see you next time.